Hey, what's up, my uplifting life partners? This is Ron Simplified Myers. Now, you guys know right now I'm doing a 12-part series on an article I read in Psychology Today by Mark Travers, and it was the top 12 problems in relationships according to experts. Now, we did number one, which was on fading enthusiasm. And on today's episode, we're going to go into number two of that particular thing, which is long work hours. And the idea behind this is they're saying these are the 12 common problems that people are having that is keeping them from intimate relationships. And number two is long work hours. I remember having a young lady as I was driving rideshare, and she was visiting here in California. She was in from New York. And I said, "Oh, are you here on vacation?" And she's like, "Vacation?" She said, "I'm from New York." She said, "We work in New York." She said, "Vacations for wimps." I was like, wow. And I just raised my hand real quick and I said, "Call me Mr. Wimp." I said, "Cause I got to have my vacation." Now, those that know me know I work like crazy, so I need to practice that more myself. But I was still trying to not get caught in her thought process and helping her to see a different light. Because I run like crazy myself and I need to breathe a little bit more also. So I was actually talking to her and talking to me at the same time. But what I was sharing with her is we get caught in this. We're in a culture that almost makes you feel like you should be ashamed of yourself and talk bad to yourself, because of the fact is you're not always out here, you're not always hustling, you're not always trying to make money, you're not always going after your dreams and goals. It's like, how dare you decide that you want to rest or that you should be able to relax? Folks, that is damaging to your health and also to your relationship. I remember when I first started doing rideshare, my first year, and I didn't even realize it. It was like November, and a person asked me, they're like, "So when did you start doing rideshare?" And I was like, "Oh, in November." And they said, "Oh, it's been a year." And I was like, "Oh, whoa, that's crazy." It has been, and I didn't realize it. And the reason it hit me that way is because I knew I had only taken 3 days off. And I didn't know it had been 3 days in a year. And I was like, oh my goodness. And the reason I knew it was 3 days, because one day I went to get a car. And then I took 2 Mondays off back to back because I had decided I was going to start taking Mondays off. And I did that for 2 weeks. And then I went back to driving 7 days a week. Folks, I was doing like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I took 3 days off in a year. That's not good. Also, part of why I wasn't dating. I remember sharing that with my dad. He's like, "Boy," he said, because I told him, I said, "Pa, I don't have the time." I said, "When I'm at home, I'm sleeping, cooking, cleaning, whatever." I said, I don't have time for a relationship." And he was like, "Well, let her decide that." And I said, if I can find someone who is okay with me giving her a couple of hours a week, I don't want to be in a relationship with her because something is wrong. Why is she okay with only a couple of, I understand long distance relationship, people get caught in that, but even that, if you get together, it ain't gonna be for a couple of hours when you finally get together. But I was just saying, but for, if you're local, which is where I'm gonna date, and I can only see you a couple of hours, and you're okay with that, something else going on. You follow what I'm saying? That's not a healthy relationship that you can accept that. So for me, it's the bigger picture, and that's why he always tells me, he said, "You're just such a nice guy." I'll take that title. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not one of those that they say nice guys finish last, all that. You guys have seen my videos, you know, I don't get caught in all of that. Call me a nice guy, whatever it takes. But I take other people into my thought process. And I don't believe that if I can only commit a couple hours to a relationship, she deserves more than that. And if I can't give that to her, I shouldn't be in a relationship. Just my personal opinion. So, but anyway, those long work hours, that's why I'm sharing that here. If you're doing that, you don't have the time to commit to the relationship. If I'm only spending 2 hours with her a week and she really wants to be in a relationship and she really wants to be, folks, what door did I just open? right? We talked about fading enthusiasm as number one and talking about a relationship being boring and your partner looking for some, we talked about certainty and uncertainty. And there's a whole bunch of uncertainty going on because they don't get to see you. They just, that is unhealthy. One for you, like in my case, that was unhealthy that I was doing that. I still get guilty of that, folks. Like I said, I'm sharing this, but I'm telling you, I still got to get better at this. But I have a tendency to run these 12-hour days and do that 4 or 5 days a week. I have been taking more days off. I've been doing the last few weeks. I've been taking even 3, sometimes even 4 days off, and then just running hard for 3 or 4 days where I'm putting in the 12 hours a day type of thing. But and the only reason I'm really starting to back off is I can't commit to my programs and to you guys running that hard. And that's why, I stopped doing my projects for a little bit, for those of you who are wondering where I disappeared. And that's why, because I was just running like crazy. And I said, I can't, because the reality is this is my passion. This is what I want to do. And this is helping people get their relationships together. And that's more important to me. And so I had to back off, and I'm continuing that process of backing off, not continuing to do all these long work hours. And also, I'm getting ready to find me a relationship. Yep, I'm getting ready to do it. So, but anyway, like we said, number 2 out of the top 12 things that are keeping people out of an intimate relationship is the long work hours. So for me, I understood that because I couldn't give the time. That's why I wouldn't get in a relationship, because I'm not one of those guys that's just looking to just sleep around. That's not who I am. So for that reason, I'm looking for a relationship. I tell people, in the earlier years, I tried to be the player, the man, have many girlfriends, all that was cool in the younger years. I had to commit it. With those that know my story, with Terry for 32 years, lost her to cancer. But folks, I had the play in the field, and I had to commit it. I like the committed stage. That's what I'm looking for. So for that reason, if I can't give that to a relationship, I don't want to be in the relationship. And again, that's just my perspective. I'm not telling you wrong. If you want to jump in and out of relationships and do all that, enjoy yourself. For me personally, that's not what I'm looking for. If I can't give the time, then I don't think I know personally I'm not getting in a relationship. So I just wanted to cover that. That's number 2, long work hours. Be very careful that if you're not spending time with the family or the lady that you with, you're giving her, especially if she wants to be in a relationship, or the other way around, because you guys know everything I share goes both ways. If he wants to be in a relationship and he's committed to the relationship and she's working all of these hours, folks, it works both ways. He's going to eventually find someone who's willing to give him that time. And it's not that you necessarily don't care. You just don't have the time. I get it, because I'm guilty of it. But folks, it is definitely a danger. As it says in this, it's the number 2 reason that people are having a hard time inside of intimate relationships. So be very careful. You may try to justify it, and for some people they justify it. The reason I put in the long hours is for my family. But folks, if you're neglecting your family in order to do it, then it's not for the family. You better figure out a way to make your family know they're significant, and that means giving them time, and that means those long hours. And folks, that's not saying there's not stretches in your work, whatever it is that you're doing, that you're not going to work long hours. Don't misinterpret again what I'm sharing. Whatever you're doing, your family knows that there's certain periods of time, maybe the seasons or something, that you're just going. So those long hours, that's balance, and we always hear that. Balance is making sure, it doesn't mean time. Some people think balance means I spend 8 hours here and 8 hours here, and so that's the balance. No. Balance means making sure that nothing is neglected in the process. Don't get caught in too many long hours and start to neglect your relationship. And as you guys know, it ain't right, it ain't wrong. It is my opinion. Now run on over to the Google Play or over to the Apple Store and download my app, which is Simplified You. The word simplified, the letter U, not the word you, the letter U. They are separated. Simplified You. It's a free download. I actually have attached my book, Get Rid of Your Problems, Not Your Partner. As soon as you download the app, you instantly have access to the book. The book can be bought at Amazon, the physical book, but I'm not concerned about selling books. I want you to get some insight, and the whole objective here is to get you in charge of your relationships. And so that's the reason I decided to do this 12 episodes. This is number 2 of the 12. All right, if you haven't gotten a chance to go look at number 1, go check that one out, which is the number 1 reason that people are having problems in their intimate relationships. This is number 2, and I will see you on number 3. And again, remember, if you're not having fun, you should be doing something else. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.